Well, Tyler Butterfield, you're back from the London 2012 Olympic Games, back on home soil. What was the experience like for you this time around?
Yeah, it was great. It was very different. I flew in quite late, just because in Athens it was a lot harder to. There was a further time change, different weather conditions. London, we had a test event there. I didn't actually do it, but I talked to a lot of athletes that did, and they suggested the best thing was to fly in late. The only thing is we missed hanging out in the village. I don't think any of the top athletes that in the top 20 were there beforehand. They all stayed outside the village because we were about 45-50 minutes away and we had to go there every day. And so that was a big thing that was different to Athens. But the race was closer. In Athens it was similar. I was behind out of the swim. I've been working basically since trying to qualify on my swim. That's what I've been working on the most. It doesn't show, but you have to work on your weakness. The last 3 months, basically 7 days a week, I've been swimming. So I've definitely been pushing that. It was a wetsuit swim, which didn't quite get to show how my swimming improved, but that's life.
Do some of your competitors tease you? You come from an island surrounded by water, and that's kind of your worst trait, the swim?
Yeah, definitely. Like a lot of my friends and competitors say you should be able to swim. There's water all around you, and I said, yeah, I think the furthest you can be away from water is around a mile. So if you want to go swimming, you can. But it's Bermuda has a good cycling program, and after Athens, I got to go cycle for a few years, which is sort of why I didn't try for Beijing. Cycling would have been hard to make. I did consider it and looked into it, but it's a different system. The triathlon's a point system, which you can gauge how you're going. So I was really happy once I knew I qualified, and then I could knuckle down and really just train right in. And I won place better than in Athens, but I definitely showed a strong performance. I could have maybe played a bit more tactical game on the bike. Once I caught up to that second group, I could have just sat in, and I might have got 1 or 2 positions higher. But I figured it was the difference between 34th and 32nd or 31st wasn't a large benefit, whereas I'd rather show the country's flag off on my suit, get some publicity, and show that I'm not going to wait around to race for the positions from 30th to 40th. I'm going to keep chasing to move forward large gaps. So I gambled a little to try and get up to top 20, and I paid for it, and maybe didn't run quite as fast as I could have. But I think a lot of other athletes got a lot of I got a lot of respect from other athletes for going as hard as I did on the bike. And I got the fastest bike time, which is a little bonus. I mean, it's not a medal, and there's no, you don't really get anything for it, but within the triathlon community, you get a bonus. And then the air time that I got for myself in Bermuda was another bonus. So I made the decision as soon as I caught up to keep biking hard. I biked hard for 30 kilometers of the 43, and it was only 2 more laps, and I said, there's no point when there's 7 laps and you've had to chase for 5. Don't sit up now, you're not at the front. There's still 20 guys in front of you. Let's keep chasing them down and show that we're not gonna go down without a fight.
Now, after the Olympics, I don't know if you know, but some of the athletes came under a little scrutiny about not doing as well as they should have by one of the local journalists. How do you feel the athletes performed?
I can only speak for myself. I don't know enough about the other sports. I mean, I'm sure that some people look at 34th out of 57 and be like, wow, he's towards the back end, he's in the middle. But the guy who won could have gone to the Olympics for swimming, biking, or running for Bermuda. So from our country, he could have gone for all 3. From England, he's talking about going to the Comp Games for running and triathlon. So that's for they just won the 10,000 meters. They won the 5,000 today with Mo Farah, and Mo Farah won the 10,000, and he would be going to the Comp Games, and the guy who won the triathlon is talking about running beside him. So that's the level that triathlon's at. It's not the same level it was in Athens. Like, I'm probably 20% better than I was 8 years ago, but the sport's gotten 20% better as well, so I finished in a similar place. Sport in general just keeps moving forward. Like, we didn't have world records all over the shop, but we had a few. Like the 800 got broken. Today was the 4x100 which got broken. So we keep getting world records, which means sport is moving forward. So it's hard. Bermuda's moving forward, but to be up, to get a top 10, a top 5, or a medal, Bermuda has to make a huge jump. Like, we've had one ever. We've had a bronze. So I wouldn't say we've done any worse than other years. And there's different reasons. I mean, we come from a country of 70,000. For me to be up with the big countries, like to be with the Australians, the Canadians, I'd be both the Brazilians. Like, you got to look at the countries that we're up with, and then look at the population. And that's just the pool of athletes they get to pick from. America had 2 athletes, and one was ahead and one was behind, like, in the triathlon that is. So you have to look. I mean, it's hard because we all want a medal, but it's not realistic. I knew I wasn't going to get a medal unless it was like the Australian speed skater in the Winter Olympics, where 4 people crashed in front of him in the semis and 3 people crashed in the finals, and he won a medal. Like, you have to be on the start line to even have any chance. But you have to be realistic, or else you're just going to set yourself up for failure. I'm excited to move forward. I would have liked to have seen my swim in a non-wetsuit, which sort of gives me hope for 4 years from now. I'm still improving, but as far as all the athletes, I think we did quite well. And a lot of it's just doing your country proud. Like, it was pretty neat to see the Kirkland Spinnaker with the big Bermuda flag. Like, that, every time I saw a photo of that, I thought that was pretty cool. And when I was watching TV, to see the track and field, and it's like, Bermuda's not going to get a lot of coverage, but when you see your country written across the jerseys, you get excited, and that's what it's about. And hopefully one day we will get someone like Karani James from Grenada that won a medal. He's from 110,000 and he won a medal. But he's been winning things from when he was a junior. I'm pretty sure he won Junior Worlds. I know he went to the US on a track scholarship and took the US track by storm. It's not that we're not working hard enough. You need the talent and the hard work and the experience. There's a case where Karani went overseas to a US college. But he did well. He was winning, and so the college kept him on, and they started to foot the bill as well. I'm sure, like, he would have got sponsors. The college wants him there. He probably would have got other offers from other colleges. But he has an incredible talent, and he knew he was going to go there with a chance of a medal. And so that's what it's going to take if we ever want a medal. Is someone quite young has to realize how good sport is. And that's the other thing we could maybe get a little better at is you want these youngsters to realize that they can have a career and a life and represent their country. And if they can do that, then we might get some coming through. I mean, here you hit 16 and there's motorbikes and parties and girls or boys, vice versa, and so that's a hard one to keep doing sport. You go into bed early, waking up at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning to like ride your bike or go to the pool. And that's why it's great to see boy Alan Birch come through. Me and him swam together. He was obviously a lot better always, but it's early mornings and it's not all the glamour of the Olympics every day. This comes around every 4 years.
Now, I heard you mention you're getting better, you're getting stronger, and 4 years down the road, is that saying that you're going to look to compete in the 2016?
I definitely will try. I tried for this one, and at first I thought I had a 10 to 20% chance of making it, and it was one race that was the turning point. It was the Pan Am Champs in January, where I got away on the bike and won, and that, I didn't realize at the time how much it made a difference. But I definitely will try again. It's easier to say like, I mean, to say I'll try doesn't mean I'll make it. These ones were touch and go until the last sort of 4 months. Once I had a string of good races, I had a good January, and then I didn't race February, but good training, and I had good racing in March and April, and it suddenly looked good, and then I knew my last race I did, I was only going there to make sure someone didn't sort of knock me out, but I was already in. It could have easily gone the other way. I could have easily had a flat tire and a bad race in 2 in a row, and it would have been over. I wouldn't have made it to London. So then, whether I finished 30th, 40th, 50th, or 20th out of 56, I wouldn't have been there at all. So it can go both ways, and that's what we have to realize, is it's a long, hard battle getting there. And then you want to make sure you have your best day there. Like, I know 1 or 2 athletes in the triathlon had great days to get there, and they were very disappointing because they had a worse day on the race, and it wasn't to do. Flora had bad luck, bad fortune with the crash. There was athletes that just didn't make the right training choices. They either overtrained or they peaked too early to get into the games, because that's how hard it is, that they knew they had to be at their best to make it in. But then when they're at their best, where do they go when they have 3 more months and they're already at their best? You can't hang on to that for 3 months. I mean, as you saw with Bolt, he got beaten in his in the Jamaican Championships, but he knew he wasn't at his best. You want to peak for the Olympics. That's where you want to be the best of your career every 4 years. In 2012, that was my best performance, and it will be for the rest of the year. I won't perform better. I trained hard. I was at altitude. I was living at altitude, going on oxygen. I was setting the treadmill to speeds that I'm not capable of running without a treadmill doing it for me and making me run that fast. You pull out all the stops. I mean, you're representing yourself, your country, your family, your friends. You have your country written on your chest, and in the triathlon suit we had the flag on each side, and you feel that. You know that that's the best I've raced in the last 4. Probably. That's probably the best race I've had, other than, I can't think of another one. It doesn't show on the paper, but
well, one thing's for sure, the country is very proud of you and everyone that represented us at the Olympic Games.
Well, I hope that was the name of the game. I mean, I was more than 99% sure I was not going to get a medal. That it'd be like me going in 100 meters against Bolt. There's a few athletes of this Olympics that have been by far head and shoulders above the rest of them, and Usain's by far the headlines. But the 2 British brothers that won the triathlon are incredible athletes. They're up in that 0.5% of the world that break world records. So I was honored to race next to them. I was glad they won because they were the best. It would have been a shame. You don't really want the best to crash or flat and be out of the race. And I feel I did Bermuda proud, and I hope other people do too, because that I poured my heart and soul into training for that race and in that race. I didn't think I came out as far down. When I looked at the splits after the race, I didn't realize actually how far behind I was out of the swim. I knew I wasn't as close as I wanted to, but you just put your head down and go as hard as you can to catch up.
All right, well, congratulations and well done.
Thank you.